Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, P Fong. Thinking right out here in the lab. Well, I do what I do for you. Well, I got something nice for you today. We've been doing some short ones. I'm about to take you deep today, so get prepared. 1 second. Prepare yourself. Oh, sorry about that. Right thinkers, let's do what we do. I got a nice lesson for you. It's gonna be a little long, but it's a good lesson. Let's go. Writism 25 rules led by storytelling. Story with a message. Message and story for life. I give life lessons. You tune in and receive them. We got a good thing going. Let's rock. Right thinking mission, and that's what I'm on, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking's way of life through mental and spiritual discipline daily will help and guide you to attain your goal of spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission is to get all right thinkers to do just that. I got the means and I got the way to make that happen. You gaining knowledge of self should be your goal. Why? That's what you tuned in for. Why? That's what I do for you. Let's go. Hey, ask the question, excuse me. Do you know you? It's rhetorical, but if you don't have an answer for yourself, tune in. I can help you with that. That's what I do for you. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple. You teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. Appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got you. A person who knows not and believes and think that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows but knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm the spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thing to know thyself. And to my eye, be true. Ooh-wee. I got a good lesson for you today. Right thinkers. Let's talk about the relationship between religion and yoga. Again, I'm trying to make this distinction. They're the same but different. When it's done right, it's the same. When done incorrect, different. So let me see if I can get that point across to you. All right. So here we go. First of all, this is a diagram. Okay. You see one side where it says practice of religion on the top, and then you got integral yoga at the bottom. This is right thinking. This is Christianity concept. Okay. Religion, aka belief system. So let's talk about the steps in the practice of religion. Now, for you religious people, this is what you should be doing. And this is when it's done like this is what I respect. First of all, Christianity, Christians, you have a mythology. That book is a mythological book. Get past that, moving on. And the idea is to what? Learning the story of the god or goddesses, which is fine. Yeah, you got the biblical angels and all that good stuff, but that's what y'all do. Second thing is you have to show devotion to God, divinity, by what? Learning how to care for and love God, the divinity, the divine. You're learning how to be what? A good, righteous person. Whatever you profess. Right thinkers, this is what we do at the bottom. This is what we do. Okay? So, and what y'all getting from this is an exoteric wisdom about life and the spirit. Exo meaning the top layer. Okay, just the surface. That's just the regular stuff. That's universal. Okay, but that's what y'all get. This is religion. The next part, that's phase one, is three steps. Three steps. First step is the mythology, story, learning, understanding. Okay, y'all got that, read but no story. Then the ritual, ceremonial concepts like ceremonies related to the myth. Every first Sunday, y'all do communion. That's a ritual. And if you are good Christian, Muslim or Jew, right living in accordance with the principles set forth by the deity of your preferred religion that you profess. Simple as that. Christianity, Muslim, Islam, to make it different, or Judaism. You still have to follow protocol. Next one is, and if this is done, the myth, the ritual, and if it's done, something should happen. It's called the mystical experience. That's when God will recognize you for the deeds and work that you put in. That's the third phase that most Christians and Muslims and Jews don't make it to. Why? They just take the first two and they comfortable, they satisfied. They never reach the third level. Your ministers, your pastors, some of your elders, they have reached that mystical concept called mysticism. And what you do, a lot of religious people don't meditate. Meditation, if you learn about the East, that's communion with God. They spend a lot of time in meditation. Why? That's the higher self. The Buddha stayed in meditation. My man Sadhu Guru, the mystic, he was in meditation for 13 days. So they take that meditation state of mind serious. Next one is, here you go. EXO, which is EXOROTERIC, the top layer concept. Now, with the mysticism, you get to learn the esoteric, the ESOTERIC, meaning the hidden, the below the surface, not just the top stuff, the real stuff. This is what I teach, hidden esoteric messages. Watch this. You get esoteric wisdom about life and the spirit. Now you have experience. Over here, you just had the exoteric. You just got the top part. When you do it right at the third level, you reach the esoteric meaning. And then what happened? AKA is called the spiritual transcendence. Transcendental. Meaning you've made the change. You had to change your heart, had to change your concept. You reach the level where you and God become commune with one another, aka one with God. That's the intent of religion. So that's why I have respect for it when it's done right. That's what happens. And there's some people who do it. My pastor is one. My church family is the other. They follow his lead. This is what he lead them to do. That's why I'm following. Moving on. Next part is we're going to do integral yoga disciplines, which is right thinking philosophy in a nutshell. Watch this. My job is to what? Enlighten you. The first thing on my mission statement is what? To enlighten, give you education for intellect. Okay. And I'm going to even try to inspire and motivate you. I'll keep those in. But these are things that intricate yoga discipline sets forth. And when you do that, you have what? You practicing yoga of wisdom. When you gain an intellect understanding, that's yoga of wisdom. There's 5 of them. I practice 4. The 5th one, I let you know I don't deal with that. But to enlighten, the second one is to enlighten the emotions, gain control over the ego. I'm busting at the seams right now. But yeah, self-mastery is self-control, self-discipline. Certain things I'm just not going to do. You can't sway me. You can't get me to do. Perfect example. I told my mother-in-law a team of wild MFs couldn't get me away from God. She laughed because she understood the concept. She said, I said, thank you. When you are locked in, come on, man, you will not be swayed. You will not be moved like my yacht's feather. Okay. And this is called yoga of devotional love. Simple as that. My love for God keeps me in due bounds where I don't act out and lash out from my egoistic concepts and viewpoints like I used to. Okay, I used to hurt people. Come on, no, moving on. But that's the concept. When you get better self-mastery, your emotions don't guide you or lead you to make bad actions. That's all. And next one is to what? Enlighten the body. I go to the gym every morning. I'm in the gym every day for a reason. The body got to get fed too. It got to get his too. So that's the tantric yoga part. I don't practice that. What they doing the yoga positions and all that. No, I don't got time for none of that. So I go to the gym. Again, I put my body in physical condition by working out. My old man told me a little bit of something is better than a whole lot of nothing. That's the hustle mentality, meaning if I'm making a little bit of cash, I'm good. Every day, I'm good with that. Don't need a whole bunch. So yeah, he taught me that lesson. But that came from a hustler mentality. Now I use it from a philosophical point of view about life. Doing something for yourself every day, trust me, is better than doing nothing. Yoga, a right action. Ding, 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 ding. Don't talk about it, be about it. That's action. Putting in the work. I tell you every day. God loves a cheerful, good worker. Why? Those are people who serve him in earnest. And you love what you do. I love teaching and giving my philosophical points of view to those who want to listen. So that's why I do what I do for you. It's in for the love. Last one, right thinking philosophy, again, is to enlighten what? Your unconscious mind. The ignorant side that don't know. I want to enlighten that with what? Yoga of formal meditation. You have to meditate. If you want to talk to your higher self, meditation is a must, even from the religious side. Okay, so moving on. Now, let's get to the religion and its three levels. See, I know about religion. Trust me. The term religion comes from the Latin religare, which uses the word roots re, which means back, and legion, which means what? To hold, to link, to bond. They bringing you back to a concept. Why? Because it's from the old days. They try to bring you back to who you originally was. And our ancients did the same thing. We called it knowing thyself. But watch this. But so therefore, what is the essence of true religion? Watch this. This is why I have respect for religion. Is that of linking back, specifically linking its what? Followers back to their original source and innermost essence, which is God. Y'all call him Jesus Christ. Don't care, but that's what you're doing. And if it's done correct, I don't have a problem with that. Okay. Now, in this sense, the terms religion and yoga are what? Are synonymous. Again, yoga is discipline to do certain things to get you to God. Watch this. This source, which is what? The underlying reality behind every object in creation, is what is described as unborn, undying, which is the spirit, the soul, eternal, and immortal. All God qualities. And watch this. It is known by what? An endless, here we begin, an endless number of names. Some of which are, let's go through them. I got a bunch of them. Consciousness, one of my favorite. Self, excuse me, or, excuse me, higher self. Another one, God. For the females, goddess, supreme being, okay? Neteru, we got creator, and Vedas, they call him the absolute. Then you got the Christians, heavenly father. Then you got our ancients, divine mother. Then you got the great spirit. These various names were what? Arising from various traditions, all different cultures and viewpoints, and separate cultures, which what? In reality represent what? The same divine and transcendental principle of God. So I don't have a problem with religion. Not a bit. Although religion, watch this, here we go, and this is why, in its purest form, or practicing correctly, is what is really a yoga system. Why? Because the original intent and meaning of scripture are often misunderstood, if not distorted. That book that y'all love, that I got a problem with. Once you realize, understand what it is and how it is, you'll be better for it. But if you think that's God's word, then you really don't understand. So I'm gonna let that stay there. But the reason why I don't deal with a lot of them because of that misunderstanding and sometimes distorted. Why? Because it's been broken down, handed down, and moved around. But watch this. Now, what happens? This occurs. Why? Because the various religions, watch this, have developed a different, was developed in different geographical areas. We got that. And therefore, the lower levels, the historical accounts, those are the things that was actually happened that they can attest to. But then you got stories and traditions, which is mythological, okay, astrological, philosophical concepts, and theological views. and have developed what mostly independently, and watch this, sometimes what without proper guidance. I hate to call it, but you got a bunch of bootleg preachers who, because they've probably got the enlightenment, don't know the book, but they're going on their emotions and their feelings. Don't trust them guys. That's my point. I know a lot of guys who talk that, yeah, but if you ain't versed in that book, don't profess to be a pastor. Don't profess to be somebody. No, no, because if you ain't versed in scripture, stop playing with it. Now, watch this. And because of that reason, and under these circumstances and those conditions, what happens? The inner meaning of what? The myths, the understanding, and the symbols before, excuse me, the symbols have what? Become lost, and it's just exoteric meanings are emphasized. So meaning you're gonna just take the top stuff, you're gonna go deep, you're gonna get the hidden meaning, you're gonna take the top layer and think that's good enough. It's not. So watch this. Here you go. Where I'm at down here. Okay, yeah. Okay. And only thing that's emphasized for you Christians, lovers, the fake Christians, are the first two levels, the myth and the ritual. You'll never reach the mystical part. You never get to really get into God part. Why? Because you stuck on your laurels with nonsense. And this leads, watch this, to what? Deism. And a phenomenal and occurrence of fact, which is what? Perceptible by what? The senses. Meaning it's all how you feel. And the approach to religion rather than the mystical, symbolic, and the transcendental understanding. They get caught up in the emotions of, well, they will rap Christianity to the death, don't have a clue on what they're really doing. So that's my issue with religious people. Most religions, watch this, tend to become theistic and the elementary level. That's just again the exo part, the top part, and that's deism as a religious belief or form of theism, belief in the what? Existence of God or gods holds that what? Watch this. God's actions was restricted to an initial act of what? Creation. According to y'all, in 6 days, he created everything. And on the seventh day, he rested. After which he retired, separated to what? Contemplate the majesty of his work. What you saying is, God is not in man. God is separate from man. That's what you're saying. So that's my issue with y'all. And watch this. Deist holds that what? That the nature, the natural creation is regulated by what? Laws. Okay, God's law put in place by what? God at the time of creation, which are inscribed with what? Perfect moral principles. Yeah, that's my yacht. And therefore, deism is what? Closely related to what? Exoteric or just personal understanding of the divinity based on their base knowledge and understanding. And a lot of times it ain't that good. So we're going to deal with the myth, the ritual, and the mysticism. Those are three phases that if you're a good Christian, this is what you go through. Watch this. Now, in its complete form, religion is composed of three aspects: mythology, there we go, ritual, ceremonial practice, going to church every week and prayer line, all that good stuff. But the work that you put in between there, that's it. And what happened? The metaphysical, or what they call the mystical experience, or mysticism, mystical philosophy. These are what happened when your belief in something becomes knowledge. You will have that experience of what? Knowing. Wisdom is experience. You can't gain wisdom on believing. You have to experience. God revealed to Aset the secrets to her where? In her heart. It wasn't from mouth to ear. Mm-mm, mm-mm. Heart to heart. Heart to heart is where God dwells. And the only way you can get to him is to understand that fact. I can't tell you about God. No, you have to experience him. I'm trying to get you to do the things that you can make that experience. And that's what religion is trying to do also when it's done right. And it will. Watch this. Now, while many religions contain rituals, traditions, metaphors, and myths, allegories, all kind of stuff to what? Get you to understand God. I agree 100%, but they don't tell the followers that. The followers think it's literal. That's also moving on. And there are few professionals who train in understanding their deeper aspects and the psychological implications, the metaphysics, and the mystical aspects of the religion from that book y'all call the Bible. Thus, there is disappointment in the followers, frustration in the followers, and they all suffer from delusionment among many other followers, as well as what some of the leaders within, excuse me, some as well as leaders where within many religions, particularly where in the Western Hemisphere. You got Gino fighting with TD Jakes. You got people shooting up in Joel's spot. That's not religion. That's why, my man, no, y'all profess it. That's religion, but y'all profess your spirituality. Spirituality don't bring on those kind of people. I'm sorry, but that's not spiritual at all. It's religious. Watch this. Why? Because so much hypocrisy and nonsense that goes into religious concepts at this point in time within religions, particularly in the Western Hemisphere. Again, because why? It is difficult, hear me, to evolve spiritually without spiritual, without proper spiritual guidance. Now, all your mega preachers are supposed to be qualified. No, they ain't. All of them. Oh, still didn't go to school. He didn't go to no seminary school. He working off his father's concept and what he felt. Again, going by his own understanding. And don't y'all say that. Don't the book say, lean not onto your own understanding? If you're not learning, you just can't make it up. And Paul told you, I'm making stuff up as I go. I don't make up right thinking philosophy as I go. It's already laid out, formatted. All I'm doing is following it. That's what Gino preached from the Bible. I ain't got a problem with that at all. And y'all having a problem with why? Because he doing what the book says. That's what you do. That's what you do. But watch this. Now watch this. Through introspection and spiritual research, doing your own study, what happens? It is possible to discover mythological vestas within religion, watch this, which can rekindle the light of what? Spirituality. And at the same time, increase what? The possibility of gaining a fuller experience of life by living, doing, and being right and righteous. It'll happen. The exoteric, here you go, the outer ritualistic part forms of religion with which most people again are familiar and is only what the tip of an iceberg, so to speak. Why? Because it is only the beginning level of spirituality. It's the elementary level, okay? And watch this. And only beginning an invitation or a prompting to what? Seek what? A deeper esoteric discovery of the transcendental truths of existence. I'm taking you deeper below so you can get a good understanding of the truth. Shita means study of the what? The hidden meanings of the divine. Now I'm going to wrap it up with religion and yoga. Mhm. They should, and they did at one time coexist. Watch this. Yoga is what? The practice of mental and physical and spiritual disciplines that I institute and practice daily, which what? Lead to self-control self-discovery by what? Purifying the mind, body, and spirit, so as to discover what? The deeper spiritual essence which lies where? Within every human being, an object in the universe. So, in essence, the goal of right thinkers or yoga practice is to what? Unite or yoke one's individual consciousness with what? Universal, with universal or what they call cosmic consciousness, which is God. Therefore, our ancient Egyptian religious practice, especially, watch this, in terms of the rituals and other practices of the ancient Egyptian temple systems, aka the Egyptian mystery system, we know as what? Shita Nada, aka right thinking philosophy, is what? Watch this. This what we are, the way of the hidden supreme being, may be termed as what? The yoga system, Egyptian yoga. In the same sense, this sense, religion in its purest form, religion in its purest form is a yoga system. I'm telling you. But what happened? As it seeks to, again, I told you earlier, reunite people with their true and original source, God. That's the purpose of religion. When it's done right, it works. I'm seeing it in my church family. Watch this. But since religion and yoga have the same goal, again, but use different terminologies, sometimes there is confusion between those religious people and practitioners of yoga. Watch this, who do not understand, the deeper meaning and goal of what? The seemingly different forms of spirituality, but which is the same, to get you to God. That's why I respect religions. And in fact, religion and yoga can be practiced together. I'm proving that, since religion is simply what? A yoga system which uses deities to convey what? The mystical wisdom for spiritual enlightenment, while most yogic disciplines use what? Explicit terms to bring forth the teachings, philosophical, different points of view, philosophically, when what? When the authentic practice of religion, when the authentic practice of religion is examined closely, what happened? It will be found that yoga disciplines are at its core. Almost done. Stick with me. We're starting to get this, see where we're going with this. I'm about to wrap it up. So the disciplines of yoga, watch this, fall into 5 categories. I gave lesson a while ago, but I'm running through it right quick. And these are yoga of wisdom. That's right thinking philosophy. Yoga of devotional love. Again, what right thinking philosophy teaches. Yoga of meditation. Those are the big 3, right? The 4th one is the tantric yoga. I tell you, I don't sit in those positions. I don't flip and dip, but I go to the gym every day. And then my favorite for all right thinkers, yoga of selfless service, aka action. Within these categories, there are subsidiary forms which are part of the main discipline, but these are exact discipline that you can practice, master, and know for yourself. And the emphasis, watch this, in the Osirian myth is what? The one of yoga of wisdom. Okay, you practice my philosophy or Aset. That's the book we in now. We're learning yoga of wisdom and yoga of devotional love. Why? Because she showed love for Ra, okay, and her husband to go the extra mile to make sure he got his due. And then you got yoga of selfless action. That's what I do daily. Give of myself to help somebody else. That's a selfless act. The important point, watch this, to remember is that all aspects of yoga can and should be used in what? Integral fashion. That's why right thinking follows the integral fashion of practicing yoga, each one for a purpose, to effect what? An efficient and harmonized spiritual movement in you, the practitioner. So therefore, while there may be an area of special emphasis Other elements are bound to become part of your yoga program. Why? As needed. For example, while a yogian may place emphasis on yoga of wisdom, that's mine, that's what I do. But they may also practice devotional love and meditation. Again, that's what I do. And yoga, along with wisdom studies, again, that's what I do. But I also go to church and get biblical lessons that I weave into my understanding. And yeah, they match perfect. So watch this, wrapping it up. So the practice of any, watch this, the practice of any discipline that what leads to oneness with the supreme consciousness, aka your higher self, can be called yoga. If you study, rationalize, and reflect upon the teachings, you are practicing yoga of wisdom. Again, right thing philosophy. If you meditate upon the teachings and your higher self, again, right thing philosophy, yoga meditation. You are practicing yoga meditation. If you practice the rituals, which I do every Sunday, which identify you with your spiritual nature, you are practicing yoga of what? Ritual identification with my church, religious, Christian family, which is a part of what? My yoga of wisdom and the yoga of devotional love to the divine. They worshiping God. I'm with them. Sorry, you get excited. Of the divine. Now, if you develop your physical nature, that's what I did, and your psychic energy centers, which is the chakras, you know about them, what you're doing. You are practicing serpent power, aka Kundalini or the Uraeus yoga, which is a part of the Tantra yoga. Again, I don't do that one because it's all physical stuff. And watch this, but I know it, understand it. Two opposites got to come together to make a third party. Okay, but if you practice living according to what? The teachings of ethical behavior and selflessness, you are what? Practicing yoga of action, aka Maya or right thinking philosophy. That's my favorite. In what? Your daily life. I do this every day. And if you practice turning your attention toward the divine by developing love for the divine, then it's also called devotional love, yoga of devotional love, or yoga of divine love. Either way, you, the practitioner of yoga, is called the yogin if you're male, or yogini, female. And watch this, one who has attained the culmination of yoga, union with the divine, knowing thyself, is called a yogi. In this manner, right thinkers, yoga have been developed into many disciplines, but watch this, which may be used in integral fashion to what? Achieve the same goal of enlightenment. The whole goal is to get enlightened, know thyself. So therefore, the aspirant should learn about all of the yogic paths and choose those which what? Which best suits him or her personality, or practice them all in right and philosophy, an integral, balanced Maya way. Enlightenment, watch this, is the term to describe what? The highest level of spiritual awakening. We called it nihas. Spiritual enlightenment, knowing thyself, opening all seven chakras, reaching the light of spiritual enlightenment by putting in the work and keeping that serpent going up, hitting the third eye, open up the pineal gland, and then the crown chakras open up. Everything is different. You become an enlightened being. And this means what? Attaining such a level of what? Spiritual awareness. How? That one discovers by living right, doing right. And what happens? One discovers the underlying unity of the what? Entire universe, as well as the fact that the source of all creation is what? The same source from which your innermost self within every human heart arises. We got 9 billion people, 9 billion people on the earth. We got 9 billion ways to get to know themselves, aka to God. Let me wrap this up with a quick lesson. As one can ascend to the top of the house by what? Means of a ladder or a tree or a staircase or even a rope. So device, so diverse. Watch this. Although I just told you, by 9 billion people, they tell you it's so diverse are the ways and means to what approach or reach God, and what every religion in the world shows one of these ways. Again, it's more than one way. I just know right thing philosophy is a way. I ain't saying the only one, but I know it is a way. Let me wrap it up. Now, all forms of spiritual practice are directed what? Toward the goal of assisting who? Every individual to discover what? The true essence of the universe, both externally and physically, creation, and internally within what? Your human heart, as the very root of human consciousness, and it's spelled CONSCIENCE. That means proven. Thus, watch this. Many terms are used to describe the attainment of the goal of spiritual knowledge and the eradication of spiritual ignorance. Some of the terms are, here we go, wrapping it up: enlightenment, resurrection, salvation, the kingdom of heaven, moksha or liberation, Buddha consciousness, one with the Tao, self-realization, and my favorite, to know thyself. That's the end of the lesson. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you got something out of it. I appreciate giving it to you. I got more. I ain't done.